welcome back. Oh God, it's because you're there.
Should we start again?
Yesterday I did one and we didn't need any editing. I know how to do it.
That's
right.
okay, my sis.
Okay. So welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. Today I've got some really exciting news. I'm going to be interviewing my brother, Carl.
Hello, sis.
So, there's about 2.5 years between us, isn't there?
Yeah.
And you decided to go on Mounjaro. So,
Yes.
I think this video will be amazing for my male followers or husbands that are considering going on Mounjaro.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you guys will find this very, very interesting. Are you ready, guys? Right. I have these questions. My brother hasn't actually seen any questions or been prompted. So hopefully you'll see the reactions are very, very genuine.
Yes, I'm going to be answering everything on the fly.
To the point, my brother is very much to the point, a bit like my good self, as you guys know. So, how long have you been on Mounjaro?
Okay. I've been on Mounjaro now for, I would say, 8. I'm just going into my 9th week.
Okay.
And I've been really, really pleased with it. I was really against it to begin with. Because as far as I was concerned, it was a case of move more, eat less.
Yeah.
And I was getting up I have a busy life. I get up at 4:30 to go to the gym in the morning. And quite frankly, after a year of it, I don't know if I plateaued, but I certainly wasn't seeing any loss in my fat. And I knew at some point you can only work that hard and come home and be absolutely exhausted every day. So I decided to start taking it, and I'm really, really pleased because, like I say, I'm coming up to my 9th week, and I've now lost about 10 kilos. Now,
That's amazing.
I don't expect that to continue forever.
Yes,
and in fact, I don't even plan to be on it forever.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, you know, I was putting on muscle, but I wasn't losing fat. And this is really, the Mounjaro has really helped me from a mental perspective, I suppose, and a physical perspective.
Yeah, you look
to
great.
gain control of my weight.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've lost about 10 kilograms so far.
Yeah.
So what do you want to achieve?
For me, my view wasn't necessarily aesthetics. So I'm just about to.
Because you're such a handsome bugger anyway.
It's a curse.
I know. It's hard. It's hard, guys, to be this handsome.
But for me, aesthetically wise was not an issue. I wasn't scared of that. I'm not saying I'm brilliant and good looking or anything like that.
You are.
But I wasn't concerned about that. For
Yeah.
me, I have a high visceral count level.
Okay.
So for all the years of going to the gym, I just could not get rid of this visceral fat around my stomach, and that's what worries me. Is the older I get, the more dangerous this visceral fat is to me.
Certainly.
You know, and anyone who doesn't know, that's the fat around your organs. It leads to inflammation. It does actually stop you from losing weight elsewhere, and that's the type of thing that leads to heart attacks. Sorry for preaching to everybody on that, but that is, as I'm getting older.
Well, those are the facts, aren't they? And at the end of the day, we have to work with facts on this. You can do all the research. Online, and you'll always have opposing opinions if you look on Instagram, if you look on YouTube, but the facts are the facts.
And the truth is, moving more and eating less wasn't working for me.
Okay.
You know, we'd cut out all processed food. We were eating good food. I cooked quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we were having what would be considered to be an extremely healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't getting rid of the excess weight, and I wasn't getting rid of this visceral fat.
So can I ask you how you monitored the visceral fat side? Have you got a Renfo or
something similar?
Yes,
something similar.
something similar, yeah.
I bought a set of scales, so I'm probably on my third set of scales, and it was one of the ones that the fat analyzers, you stand on them.
Oh, okay.
And then I got up one day and I'm like, nah, these are lying. So I chucked them. I bought another one.
Scales always lie, guys, as we know.
Yeah, I bought another one, and it was a more expensive one. I'm like, well, this one's more expensive. It's going to do the job better. And then I got again. Nah, these are still lying.
Yes.
So then I bought one of these professional ones where you stand on it and then you hold it and it does your whole inside.
You can go on them in gyms.
Yes,
Okay.
it's the full
So
works.
top of the range.
Yeah. So it has still been lying. However, it's now seeing real good results.
Yes.
It's now
Well,
starting
you're
to
seeing
improve.
good results.
I really am.
And have you found that other people in your sort of social circle have noticed that you're losing weight?
People notice specifically around my face.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that they pick up.
Yeah.
At the moment, I know that I'm losing weight all over. I know the majority of it is fat. I know some of it is muscle. I certainly don't feel as strong as I used to be.
Okay.
However, my point is I'm going to get to a certain level, and then at least now I've kind of relearned how to eat food again.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
I can agree with that.
The portions we were eating were obviously too large. You know, and we didn't. It's like,
what about portion control?
Yeah, much better portion control, and knowing that actually we can cope through life on a lot less than we normally eat. And I have a habit of binging. I do enjoy binging, and I haven't felt the need to binge using this Mounjaro.
That's the key. So portion control.
Yeah.
And not feeling the need to binge.
Yes.
For the savoury or the sweet?
Everything.
Okay.
I can eat it.
So whatever's there. So it could be classed as more habitual.
Yeah.
And so it's a.
I don't have many vices.
Yes.
I don't particularly drink much. I don't smoke.
Yeah.
But I do love food. I'm not having food because I'm trying to make up for anything that's missing in my life.
Of course.
You know, I'm not comfort eating. I just absolutely love food.
Yeah. Okay, well that actually says a lot, and I'm sure that a lot of our subscribers will resonate with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So what was the lead up to making the final decision to take Mounjaro? What was it that made you think, today, forget all the rest of the weight loss plans I've been on?
Yeah.
I'm going on Mounjaro. What was it for you?
Yes. There were two things. One is yourself. So, not trying to big you up too much.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, knowing that you've seen it and it's worked for you, and seen how fantastic you've been looking on it, and how positive the influence has been on you, and you remember the first time you mentioned to me, I said, nah, it's not for me. I'm not that interested.
Yeah.
You know, I'll carry on going to the gym. I'll carry on and
doing it the right way.
Doing it, yes, what people would consider the right way.
Yes.
But it was quite simply after a year of getting up at 4:30 in the morning, every morning, going to the gym and working hard.
Yeah.
And actually I probably plateaued. I'd hit a point where I was exhausted. And when I hadn't seen any real changes, I hadn't seen any of the fat shift. I can put muscle on quite easy.
Yeah.
So, but I hadn't seen any of the fat shift at all, and knowing that's going to have a detrimental effect on my life, it was the case. I woke up one morning and I went, I can't be doing all this hard work all the time.
Yeah, for no payoff.
For no payoff. Don't get me wrong. Certainly, once my visceral fat has gone, I'm going to then titrate down, is titrate the word, or level down certainly, and wean myself off it, and go back to the gym, because that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
But I just need to get myself back down to that level.
I think growing up with you, you've always had an amazing physique.
Go on with you.
So what made you put that weight on over the years, and what sort of time span would you say that led you to putting on so much
Putting on the
weight
weight.
that you realised that it needed to come off?
Well, I think simply age, and again, during my marriage, I'm not married anymore, but during my marriage it was a case of...
He's not available, by the way. I know we'll get loads of people saying, I'll have him, but he has a wonderful, wonderful partner at the moment,
Yes.
so he's not available. Sorry, guys.
Thank you. But it was a quite a case of settling. So you know I started weight training at an early age.
Yeah.
And I put the size on, and it was a case of I enjoy being big, especially being such a short person. No offence to anybody else, but it was still trying to make some kind of an imposing image.
Yeah. Well, certainly when you're taller, you can carry the weight better.
Yeah. Yes. But it was a case. I just wanted to be a bit more. Being perfectly honest, the size helped me in life. Being bigger.
Yeah.
But I'm at that age now where I realise that isn't the answer.
Yeah, certainly.
You know. I just got sick of being fat.
And I get that. I certainly get that. I think as a woman, you start thinking, well, nothing in my wardrobe fits me.
Yeah.
And is it a case of I've got to lose weight to fit into the wardrobe, or do I just buy a new wardrobe?
Yes.
And I've got expensive tastes, as you know, so that probably wasn't an option for me. Because I don't work, so that was never going to be an option for me.
I think obviously as well as a bloke, I'd have items in my wardrobe which I'd be like, yeah, that's a goal item. I'm gonna shrink down. I'm gonna fit into that.
Yes. So men have the same.
Men have the same thing. It's like
idea.
I bought something really nice. I can't wait to lose weight, and this is the thing I'm gonna wear, and I'm gonna look bloody fantastic in it.
Yeah.
And then I realised that some of these clothes were just living in my wardrobe for years.
Rent free.
And if I didn't do something about it, I was never going to actually get into them.
Yes.
You know, and again, it's not just about aesthetics. But again, when you start putting the weight on, certainly me in a suit, when I was bigger, I would unless you're having a completely tailor-fitted suit, and not everybody's got £1,000 to spend on a suit.
Of course.
I would look just boxy. Nobody wanted.
Oh, okay. So you've tried other methods of weight loss.
Yes.
So you've been to the gym.
Yeah.
Have you tried keto or anything? I'm sure that you mentioned the Cambridge diet years ago.
Yes. Tried the Cambridge diet, and the truth is, it's very restrictive. And I was hungry all the way through, but I was seeing nice results.
Right.
And I think probably having that, it was just a case that I was probably just getting rid of a lot of water in my system, and I looked okay on it. But I think I tried, like with the shakes and stuff like that. I remember I was going to France, and I took these shakes, and I convinced myself I was happy on them for up to 6 months before I went to France for a holiday. And I went away for a week, and I put all the weight back on in that week.
Oh wow.
And I came back and I was so disheartened, and I thought, well, I've worked for 6 months. And it's straight back on like that.
Yeah.
And then the next start I done was the ketogenic diet.
Yes.
Keto. And I was feeling great, and actually I dropped the weight really good. Again, my diet was restrictive, but being, as I've said before, I like cooking. I can find a way to cook something that was just meat and protein based that would actually taste it quite nice.
Yeah.
And it was all going well. But it was then again restrictive, and I was thinking, well, I'd started thinking about donuts. I started thinking about donuts, and
intrusive. How rude of the donut family to be so intrusive.
I could not get over the thought of donuts constantly.
Tell me what your favourite donut is.
Well,
then.
now I'm a salted caramel donut guy.
Oh.
However, this was a
Very
raspberry
salty.
donut. Yeah. However, this was a raspberry donut with plenty of sugar. And like I say, I've always been a binger, but I felt really good on the keto. And I figured one day I was walking up the stairs, and I thought, my God, I feel so light. I don't feel bloated.
Yes.
It was brilliant, and I was looking decent in formal clothing, etc. It was great. But again, the one day, so it must have been 2 weeks, I could not get the donut off my mind. And I got up one morning and I said, that's it, I've got to do it, I don't care, I've got to go and have a donut. Got straight in the car, drove to a supermarket, bought a pack of 10, sat in the car park, ate them. Oh, I laughed so much, I was so happy, I was really in my happy place. But at that point then, it was like, whoop, wait, straight back on, it came back on twice as fast.
Yeah. And that's not what you want after all the hard work that
No, there's no point in life. You want to enjoy life. You don't want to keep constantly denying yourself.
Of course.
And it's terrible being a binge eater, I suppose. For me, that's my pleasure.
Yeah. So, where did you purchase your Mounjaro from, and at what sort of price?
I did it online. I did a lot of looking around.
Yeah.
And I vetted the ones that had the best stars against them.
Yes.
And yeah, because I was very cautious. The last thing you want to do is find something and find that it's either not the correct item. You're injecting this stuff. At the end of the day, you don't want to.
Well, yeah, we still are very aware of all the horror stories that go on.
Yes. And the prices, so they all have their first one, and it's quite a sensible business tactic, where they're all about the same price everywhere. But it was like, you get your first dosage, 130 quid, whatever, and then it's all to normal. And I think they're quite clever in that respect, because you have it and you try it and you realise there is a different way to eat, there is a different way to live, there is a different way, and it helps to keep the weight off. And so I think most people I know who have tried it just keep constantly trying it.
Yes.
Stick with it.
Yeah.
So I'll pay now. I've just gone up. So originally I had the 2.5ml, then I had the 5ml, and that was then at £150 a month.
Okay.
And now I've just gone up to the now I've just gone up to the 7.5ml.
Okay.
And that's £170 a month. But the truth of the matter is that the cost isn't excessive, because I'm probably spending £100 extra a month on food anyway. So I'm not eating that amount of food. Yes,
that's absolutely true. I mean, I found that when I sat down and actually calculated how much we were saving, we were looking at about £600 a month.
Yes.
Without the wine, without the takeaways, without the restaurants, without the pub meals.
Yes.
It came to about £600. So we can only calculate that it's saving us money.
Yeah.
It's not the initial cost of that, if you look at how much you're saving over the month.
And take into account the benefits.
And the benefits. Oh, absolutely. So have they offered you much aftercare service or support?
This company have been really good.
So what's the name of the company?
So I've been using MedExpress. I wasn't particularly advertising it.
No, that's fine. But a lot of people will.
They
will be already using MedExpress.
Yeah. So they will be constantly in touch with you via email. I think they have a chat line. They do monitor, they make sure that you're not trying to move up too fast, etc.
Yes.
So they're not sitting there completely holding your hand. I mean, we're all adults, so we all make these sensible decisions, and we all do our research to
You've got to be really in tune with your body.
Yeah.
I think you've got to be, just thinking, is that a normal pain, or is it normal that I feel so sick today, or I
Yes.
feel cold?
Yes.
Can I ask, so you started on the 2.5.
Yeah.
What has made you go up
To
two doses?
To the well,
And
well,
when
it was
did
over
it
time.
happen?
Yeah, so I had the 2.5 for 4 weeks, then I had the 5 for 4 weeks, and now I'm just going into the 7.5, which I haven't had yet. I've just been very lucky, I suppose, that I've had very minimal side effects.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel I don't have as much energy as I used to, but the truth of the matter is, it's because my body's very likely getting used to processing food in a different way.
Yeah.
But that has been improving as I've gone on.
Yeah.
And one of the silly ones is I'll probably do little burps. Probably about
sulfur burps.
Yeah, probably
they,
about
they
60
can be a
times a day.
problem.
But it's no grief. It's not a problem to me. It's like, look, I'm sorry. I'll say to people,
Yeah.
look, I'm on these fat jabs. They do make me burp.
Yeah.
But it's not. I haven't done any during this. But it's a case of well, if this is the issue, I can understand that potentially my body's processing something which is making me burp anyway.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
So I'll happily accept that.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, so I forgot what was the question. I got so excited.
You got